Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Rugged Ridge Voyager Soft Top on this two-door Jeep JK. The tools I'll be using for this installation are an electric impact driver with a T25 Torx bit, a 3mm Allen wrench provided in our kit, a 14mm wrench, a ratchet with 10 and 13mm sockets, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is assemble our door surround. This right here is the top portion of the door surround. This is going to go right above the door. This is the back side of it, so this is the rear. Now, make sure you have everything oriented properly. This is the rear. If you turn it over, you're going to notice you got 3 holes here and you've got 3 holes here. Those are going to coincide with our brackets that have to attach. What we need to do is attach our rear bracket first. The rear bracket is going to be a little bit longer than the front bracket. So the rear bracket is going to go on from the front, slide down, and then we're going to line it up to those holes, and then we're going to attach it with the included self-tapping screws. I like to get all of the screws started before I tighten any of them down. We got 3 on this side and 2 on this side. Tighten them down with a Phillips head screwdriver. Now these 2 holes here, we'll need to bear down and kind of drill it into the plastic that's going in. Now that we've got these 3 started, let's go ahead and flip it over so we can see these 2 here. This one, we don't have to screw it through the plastic. This one we do. Now that we've got them all started, let's go ahead and tighten them all down. All right, next let's move to the front. We're going to go ahead and slide the front bracket in place. That's going to line up to the holes, but before we attach it, we also have to put our extension in. Now, these are side specific and it only goes in one way. So it's going to slide into place. And we can go ahead and line up our holes and install the self-tapping screws just like we did with the last one. All right, now that we've got them all lined up, we can go ahead and tighten them all down. Okay, now moving to the corner part of the door surround, what we're going to do is we are now going to attach our lower extrusion. Now this is also marked with an L in the bag that it comes in, so you know it's the left side. Also, you're going to have a larger hole up here and a smaller hole down towards the bottom. Go ahead and slide that in. And then you're going to attach your thumb screw through this hole here. Once that's nice and snug, we're going to go ahead and move to the bottom. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and install our base plate. We're going to insert that. Now this is labeled with an L for the left side. It only goes in one way, so we're going to go ahead and insert it down in the bottom. We're going to take our self-tapping screw and go through this small hole. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to get that installed. All right, now repeat the same process for the passenger side door surrounds assembly, and we're going to go ahead and take it to the Jeep. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take our driver's side door surround and get it lined up to the door. Now the bottom of the base plate has a round peg that's coming out of it. That needs to line up and slide into this hole in the Jeep. So we're going to go ahead and set that in place. Once that's in place, we're going to go ahead and line up our brackets to our roll bar. Now it's going to look like the brackets are a little too high up. They're actually not. It just needs to be flexed down and inserted. And we're going to make sure that we line up our weld nuts to the bottom of the hole on the bottom side of the roll bar. While we're doing that, we also want to make sure that this extension nests properly into this gasket at the window. Okay, so here we are looking down at the top of our door surround. As you see, we've got these 2 holes lined up to the top of our roll bar. What we're going to do now is take our driver's side top plate. Now, to orient this properly, we've got a vertical portion pointing up back here. We've got these holes. They're going to line up to the holes in our brackets. These pins are going to be facing to the inside and also offset to the rear. The mirror image of this goes on the passenger side. So now we've got this lined up. What we're going to do is take a couple of the thumb screws, one for the front and one for the back. I find the easiest way to do this is to line up the rear first. Now that is a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is drop this through the top. Then I'm going to go underneath and look up through the weld nut in the bottom of the bracket so I can get this lined up. And then I'm going to twist that to get it lined up and started. All right, now that I've got this one lined up, I'm going to go ahead and go to the front and line that one up as well. Once I've got them both lined up, we can go ahead and tighten them both down. All right, next we're going to mount our tether strap to this hole back here. This only happens on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our provided bolt with a flat washer. We're going to come up through the bottom of this hole, put the tether strap over top, do another flat washer and a nylock nut. Okay, now once we have that all lined up, what we're going to do is hold the bottom side, the bolt side, with a 14mm wrench and tighten down the nut with a 13mm up top. All right, now with the exception of our tether strap, go ahead and repeat the same process on the opposite side. All right, now we're inside the cab. We're up at the top of the windshield. This is the footman hoop on the driver's side, just directly above the steering wheel. What we need to do is we need to take out the factory hardware. These are Torx bolts. We need to use a T25, remove those two Torx bolts to remove the factory footman hoop. All right, now we're going to take our provided bracket. We're going to line up the factory hardware to the holes and get it started. Once both Torx bolts are started, go ahead and tighten them back down. Repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, here I've got our fabric top upside down. That way our pockets are visible. These pockets face the front, so this portion of the top is going to be over top of the windshield. We're going to take our tube assembly frame and we're just going to set it on top. All right, now we're going to make sure that our snaps on the frame are facing up. They're also going to line up to the snaps on the tarp. These are just kind of in our way right now, so we're going to rotate those over. And we're going to slide this forward so it goes underneath and gets tucked up nice and tight. Line up the snaps and snap them in place. All right, next what we're going to do is pull this Velcro apart and wrap it around the tube frame back here. All right, next we're going to go to the sides. We're going to take our plastic and tuck it into the metal frame. All right, now let's go ahead and flip it upside down and roll it up from the back to the front. All right, now let's pick it up and put it up on top of our frame. Okay, so I've got the front of the tarp sitting on top of the window gasket and I've got it centered side to side. What that's going to do is kind of get me lined up where this arm is going to be right over top of this bolt. So what we're going to do is take that bolt apart. We're going to slide that over top. That will center and line up. Now this bolt will actually nest inside the arm, and then we can thread it in and tighten that down with the provided 3mm Allen wrench. All right, next we can go ahead and raise up this rear arm. Now that is going to be able to slide back and forth. So what we're going to do is slide it over to where it also lines up and then take out this bolt, repeat the same process here. All right, repeat the same process for the arms on the opposite side. All right, now we're back to our bracket above our steering wheel that's attached to our windshield header. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set that to our frame, but this is an adjustable bracket, so we need to make sure that it's adjusted properly. So right here, I could probably use a little more tension. So what I'm going to do is just adjust this up a little bit, swing this up, and lock it down like so. Make sure you do not over tighten that, but go ahead and repeat that process on the opposite side. Okay, next what we're going to do is start rolling our tarp back. Now, as you start going back, you're going to notice we've got a couple of straps. Those straps are going to go underneath and then attach at the bottom. So we're going to bring it back a little bit, go underneath and attach those straps. Okay, so here's the two straps coming down. On the bottom of our sound bar, when we look up on either side of the dome light, we're going to have a couple of holes. What we're going to do is take these hooks and then clip them into the holes. And then once we have them clipped in the holes, we can go ahead and cinch down. All right, let's go ahead and continue to roll the cover back. Okay, now we can go ahead and finish rolling it back to the rear. Once we get it to the back, we're going to go ahead and take our straps, lay them to the side, fold this back, pull it nice and snug, and make sure it's centered. Okay, when you go to the bottom of the strap, you're going to notice we've got a rubber-coated hook. What we're going to do is go about even with the bottom of our seat belt, and we're going to hook it on to our tub deck on the side of the Jeep. Next, what we can do is take our strap, pull it free from the Velcro, and draw it tight, and reattach the Velcro. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this to where it's nice and tight and snug and also centered side to side. So we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side and get it nice and centered. Okay, now we can go ahead and get our left side window started. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold it in place, and then with our top, you'll notice we've got some Velcro that needs to come apart, and that's going to expose this zipper. What we're going to do, make sure our zipper is all the way to the front on here, and then go ahead and line up this zipper with the top zipper. And we're going to zip together all but about the last 6 inches. Now repeat the same on the opposite side. All right, now once we're at the back, we're going to go ahead and fold the back corner out. And you'll notice we've got a pocket that's inside this back corner. In your kit, you're also going to have some molded corners that go up in there for just some structural support. And they'll be labeled L or R for left or right, and this is the left side, so we got the L marked corner. We're going to shove that up in there, get it up in there nice and tight, and then we can fold that back around. Repeat the same process for the opposite side. Okay, now before we start to install the back window, it's a lot easier. Go ahead and separate our top from the Velcro down here. We're going to go ahead and take our rear window and make sure it's oriented properly. So what we're going to do is line up that center strap location to the buckle above it and just kind of let it hang in place for right now. Next, what we want to do is attach the zipper to the side, one side at a time, and get about 6 inches zipped in place. Now we can go ahead and pull our sides down and finish zipping our windows on the sides. Let's go ahead and attach our buckles to our straps. All right, let's go ahead and set our windows. Okay, now the first time we install the side windows is always the most difficult because the fabric hasn't been stretched yet. And it is recommended to leave these out sitting in the sun for a little while to get them nice and pliable. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna kind of stretch this forward. And then this corner right here, we're gonna fold back into this slot on the door surround. All right, now that we have this seated into the door surround, if you fold this back, we'll notice we got a firm piece of plastic that needs to get hooked into this J slot on the tub. So what we're gonna do is kind of push down on the top to draw this down. So once that's drawn down, we can take this plastic, rotate it down, and push it in with the palm of your hand. And we're going to work it all the way back to the back corner. Okay, now when you pull your tail rail out of the box, these tail rail brackets for the sides are going to be attached to the tail rail. So what we're going to do is pull them off. These are side specific, and this is the way that they're going to be oriented on the Jeep. The part that has the lip on this side, that goes to the outside. So we've got the driver's side bracket on this side. What we're going to do is we're going to fold this up. This back side right here is going to lip to the inside of the tub. And then this part is just going to snap in place like so. Now, repeat the same process on the opposite side. Next, we're going to go ahead and attach our tail rail to our rear window. What we're going to do is lift that window up, and you'll notice on the inside we've got a little bead that's stitched into the window itself. On the tail rail, we've got a little semicircle extrusion. What we're going to do is pull the tail rail all the way to one side, fit that bead into the extrusion, and just slide it into place, like so. Then we can take our tail rail and install it into our brackets. All right, now we can go ahead and set our corners. All right, now that we have our corners set, we can go ahead and rotate the bar down, fix our Velcro, zip it down all the rest of the way. We go ahead and set our Velcro all the way around the cover. Well, that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online at RealTruck.com.